Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Live at 4:45. It is Monday, and hey, see, the backdrop has changed behind us this morning. My girls were watching a movie yesterday, and the sun was coming in the window, so I think they hung up a highfalutin, I don't know, blind right there, a blanket. Ingenuity. That's what we like around here. But was thinking about our ability to listen and our ability to adhere or other people's advice. I don't know about you, but that sometimes is not one of the easiest things for me to do. But I'm going to tell you a little story that might change your mind. When I was about 9-10 years old, we moved to Brazil, to South America, to the Amazon. And my parents were missionaries down there, and we moved to a very remote area in the Amazon, and it was out in the jungle, and man, I loved it. It was a phenomenal adventure, and I loved the jungle and loved the fresh fruit and vegetables and mangoes and papayas and you name it, it was there. I mean, I didn't have to wait for lunchtime. I didn't have to wait for meals. I could just go out and pick it off the tree, and so needless to say, it was good. But we were living there, and I made some good friends, and we would go out exploring, and much like any kid would, and we loved going into the jungle. And one of my buddies had a rifle, and we would go out and do target practicing and shooting in the jungle. And one day we were out there, and we'd been swinging off the vines. We had been playing around those big trees with the massive root wads, and we'd been target practicing. And then we realized that maybe it was about time to get home or back to school. I don't know if we've been playing hooky, but it could be a possibility. Either way, we figured we better get back, and we were racing down this jungle trail. And it was a well-beaten path, both by man and by beast, by wild animal. But it was a beaten path, and we were going down this path. And I happened to be in the lead because, I might have been faster. I don't know about that, but I'm going to say I was. But we were running down this path, and all of a sudden, out of the middle of nowhere, my friend yells out in a shrill voice, "Stop! Stop!" And he sounded pretty serious, and for whatever reason, and usually I don't do this, but for whatever reason, I ended up listening to him, and I ended up stopping in my tracks. And I remember sort of turning, and just about that time, I see my friend raising his rifle, like pointing it, looking like he's pointing it right at me. And then all of a sudden, boom, he pulls the trigger. And out of the corner of my eye, in that same instance, I see something move. And a 6-foot-long, extremely poisonous snake jumps up right in the air in front of me. And what my friend had seen, I had not. And he had seen this snake in the path. And he knew that within a few steps, I was going to be probably stepping on this extremely poisonous snake. And he told me to stop. And luckily I stopped. And he was able to shoot the snake. And when he shot it, the reflexes made the snake jump right up in my face and then fell down to the ground dead. Because I was willing to listen, because I was willing to heed the voice of a friend, is probably part of the reason that I'm being able to tell you the story today, because it was one of the most poisonous snakes. In fact, he cut the head off and they buried it because they said the venom was so drastically poisonous that they didn't want anything to be around it. But the moral of the story is, no matter what, sometimes we don't see what's in front of us. We don't always see the bigger picture. We aren't always paying attention to everything. And there are people in our lives who mean well. There are people in our lives who care about us. There are people in our lives who are looking out for our best interest. And sometimes they see things we don't. And although it may be hard, there are sometimes when we just need to listen because they know what's best. So today, Monday, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, I would encourage you to listen. I would also encourage you to be looking out for those around you. And we are in need of care. We are in need of looking out for those around us. We are in need of being able to listen to those around us. So that is my 2 cents for today. Wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, love it, live it, and make it count. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.